The night is calm, and the sound of rain falls gently against the world outside. In this quiet hour, everything slows. The air feels cool, the light is soft, and stillness settles across the room. Tonight's story follows a lone astronomer walking beneath low clouds, guided not by what he sees, but by what he senses above him, the steady rhythm of the sky, the hidden glow of stars beyond the mist. His path is simple and unhurried, marked only by quiet footsteps and the faint sound of rain around him. This is not a story of discovery, but of calm observation, of finding peace in stillness and meaning in small details. Settle back, breathe slowly, and allow the gentle rain and the quiet sky to lead you into a space of rest and quiet reflection. Chapter 1. Begin by settling into bed and feeling warmth. The room is quiet now, still and peaceful, with the soft hum of night resting in the corners. The light is dim, gentle enough to calm the eyes, and the air feels still and kind. The bed beneath is warm and steady, a safe place to rest a tired body after a long day. The blanket carries a familiar weight, light but comforting, and the pillow gives way under the shape of the head. The body begins to loosen, finding stillness after movement, and the quiet grows more complete with every passing moment. Outside, the world softens into calm silence, the kind that carries no rush, no noise, only the steady rhythm of a quiet night waiting to be felt. A soft sound begins to rise from somewhere distant, the faint tapping of rain against glass. It's not loud or sharp, only a steady pattern that repeats in no hurry. Each drop falls in its own time, some light, some heavy, together creating a quiet rhythm that fills the room without effort. The air outside carries the smell of rain, clean and earthy, and it mixes gently with the calm air within. The faintest echo of water sliding down the window gives the moment depth, as if time has slowed just enough to notice each small sound. The bed feels warmer now by contrast, and the soft hum of rain creates a feeling of protection, as though the world outside is quietly tucking itself away to rest. Shoulders begin to soften. The breath evens out, slower and smoother. With every quiet inhale, the air moves calmly through the chest, and with each exhale, the body settles further into rest. The muscles across the back loosen, the jaw unclenches, and the space behind the eyes feels light and unpressured. The warmth of the blanket holds steady, while the air around feels cooler, balanced just right. The rhythm of breathing matches the rhythm of the rain, steady and peaceful, both moving together without any thought or effort. Time feels slower, and the space between moments stretches softly, like the night itself is giving permission to relax completely. The cool air touches the skin in a soft, even way. It moves quietly, brushing over the face, the arms, the edges of the blanket. It carries no chill, only freshness, and the sensation brings quiet awareness of the body's calm presence in the room. Each small sound becomes more noticeable. The faint tap of a drop, the rustle of fabric as the body shifts, the nearly silent sound of steady breathing. There's no rush to listen or to notice. Everything unfolds gently, like the natural pace of night itself. The rain continues, patient and unchanging, a background that soothes the edges of thought. Somewhere far beyond the quiet of the room, a lone astronomer walks beneath low clouds. His steps are unhurried on a narrow, damp path that winds through a quiet field. The sound of his boots on the wet ground mixes with the soft drizzle that falls from the sky. He carries a small lamp that casts a gentle light, just enough to show his way without breaking the calm darkness around him. The air is cool and damp, filled with the scent of rain-soaked grass and soil. The clouds above drift slowly, thick and grey, hiding most of the stars, though here and there a faint glimmer pushes through. The astronomer's breath is visible in the cool air, rising and fading as he continues forward. Each step he takes is measured and steady. He doesn't hurry. He simply moves in rhythm with the quiet of the world around him. Sometimes he stops to listen, hearing only the light sound of rain landing on his coat, the distant rustle of leaves moving in the breeze, and the still hum of the earth resting beneath him. His thoughts move slowly, calm and clear as he looks toward the sky, waiting for a break in the clouds. There's no need for urgency. The stars will show themselves when they are ready. And for now, the peace of the rain is enough. He breathes deeply, taking in the clean scent of night air, and feels the simple calm of being alone in nature's quiet rhythm. The clouds shift, slowly opening small spaces where faint stars begin to appear. They are dim through the mist, but still there, distant and steady. The astronomer lifts his head to watch them, eyes tracing the faint patterns that emerge between passing clouds. The sky feels alive but calm, like a vast, quiet space where time stretches endlessly. The stars fade and reappear as the mist moves, creating a gentle dance of light and shadow across the wet ground. The rain softens, becoming more of a whisper than a patter, and the world seems to hold its breath for a moment, listening. The astronomer lowers his lamp slightly, allowing his eyes to adjust to the dim light, and watches as the clouds drift again, slow and patient. The sound of rain continues in the background, steady and even. It seems to come from all directions at once, from the window, the roof, the distant earth. Each drop feels connected to the quiet air that surrounds it. The astronomer remains still, watching, breathing, thinking of nothing but the soft glow above. His heart beats slowly, steady with the rhythm of the night. The cool breeze brushes his face, and he closes his eyes for a moment to feel it fully. When he opens them again, the stars have shifted slightly, just enough to show that time has passed in silence. The rain outside the window of the room has become softer now, more distant, almost like a faint memory of sound. It blends with the slow, steady rhythm of breathing. The warmth of the blanket feels deeper, the pillow softer, and the air around is cool and light. Muscles that once held tension are now loose and relaxed. Each breath brings a quiet calm, each exhale a gentle release. Thoughts drift and fade like small clouds passing across a quiet sky. The weight of the day no longer presses, only comfort remains. The body knows rest is near, and the mind follows without effort. The air in the room holds stillness now. Only the quiet hum of rain remains, a soft sound that soothes rather than stirs. The space feels lighter, as though everything heavy has gently settled. The edges of awareness blur. Sounds grow distant. The warmth of the bed becomes the only thing that matters. The body feels safely grounded, and the quiet pulls everything into stillness. Outside, the rain continues its steady pattern, calm and sure. Inside, breath moves slowly, evenly, without any thought at all. In this calm, the night deepens, the window fades from view. The sound of rain grows faint, the body sinks further into the mattress, and the world narrows to the small, peaceful space between waking and sleep. There is nothing left to do, nowhere to be, only the quiet comfort of rest. The air is cool, the blanket is warm, The heart is calm, and the rain outside carries on. The sky above, unseen, holds its slow, quiet stars, and the lone astronomer, somewhere beneath them, closes his eyes too, resting in the same gentle stillness. The night stretches softly around everything, holding the quiet world in peace. Breathing slows again, long and deep, until sound and thought fade together into complete calmness. The rain continues, steady and light, carrying the last moments of wakefulness into restful sleep. Chapter 2. Imagine soft rain against the window, steady and distant. The night carries a quiet promise of rest, a calm that begins to fill the air as the mind starts to slow. The light in the room is soft, dim enough to ease the eyes, and the air feels balanced, neither too warm nor too cool, just the right temperature for comfort. Beyond the walls, a new sound begins to rise, gentle, steady, and patient. It is the sound of rain falling with rhythm, touching the window with the calm repetition of nature's soft music. The first drops are faint, almost distant, then grow more certain, spreading across the glass in light, uneven patterns. There is no rush in the sound, no harshness, only the smooth, even tapping that carries through the night like a slow, measured breath. The rain has a voice of its own, soft and even, like the world whispering itself to sleep. Each drop lands differently, but together they create a pattern that never repeats exactly, giving the ear something new to follow with every moment. The sound spreads across the space, wrapping around everything, settling into every corner of the room. The air takes on a faint coolness, mixed with the smell of rain-soaked earth and distant leaves. The body feels this subtle shift, responding naturally, relaxing a little more with every passing second. The mind listens, steady and quiet, as if drawn into the rhythm of something much larger and endlessly peaceful. Outside, the world is wrapped in a thin layer of mist. The trees glisten faintly, their branches bending slightly under the weight of water. A streetlight nearby glows through the haze, its light softened by the falling rain. The window glass holds tiny streams of movement, where droplets slide down in smooth lines, merging and separating in silent motion. Each one carries its own small reflection, a tiny world of color and movement captured for a moment before it disappears. Watching them feels like following time itself, slow, natural, unhurried. Inside, everything feels still. The sound of the rain fills the quiet without breaking it. It creates a calm rhythm that moves easily between awareness and rest. The faint echo against the glass sounds almost like breathing, slow and regular, guiding the body deeper into ease. The sheets under the body feel warm and soft. The pillow holds steady, and the edges of thought begin to blur. The rain is constant but gentle, steady but never forceful. It moves as if it knows its only purpose tonight is to soothe. Sometimes a stronger drop strikes the window with a soft thud, marking a small variation in the pattern, reminding the mind that even calmness carries texture. Between those moments, there is a hushed, delicate stillness. It's the quiet pause that follows the echo of each drop, a silence that holds the same weight as the sound itself. The combination of both creates balance, movement and stillness, sound and silence, all blending together into one gentle experience. Beyond the glass, the sound changes slightly when the wind shifts. For a brief moment, it sweeps the rain sideways, brushing across surfaces, then returns to its steady fall. The leaves outside shimmer faintly, as water collects on their edges before dripping down to the soil below. Somewhere in the distance, the faint hum of water flowing through a gutter adds a deeper tone, a low, continuous sound that anchors the lighter patter against the window. The entire world seems slowed down by this soft weather, every living thing quiet, every sound measured and smooth. In this space, the mind has nowhere it needs to go. Thoughts begin to drift away, like small ripples fading on still water. What remains is simple awareness. The sound, the breath, the gentle movement of air in the room. The rain outside becomes a guide for the senses, its steady rhythm setting the pace for calm. The body follows naturally, heart rate lowering, muscles loosening, all aligning with the peaceful flow of the night. There's no need for effort. The quiet itself does the work, drawing everything into balance. Sometimes, when the drops collect more heavily on the roof above, the sound deepens slightly, creating a layered texture, a gentle percussion mixed with the lighter notes of rain on the window. It feels alive yet tranquil, natural and endlessly patient. If the eyes are closed, the rain paints soft shapes in the mind, faint lines, circles, and waves moving across a calm surface. The sound seems to stretch beyond the room, as though the entire world has turned into a single, quiet rhythm. The temperature in the room adjusts with time. The air cools slightly as moisture fills it, and the warmth beneath the blankets becomes more noticeable. The difference between the two sensations, cool air above, soft warmth below, feels soothing, a balance that keeps the body at ease. The faint vibration of each raindrop against the glass can almost be felt, like the quietest touch of movement in the air. There's comfort in this repetition, in knowing that the pattern will continue through the night. Never hurried, never harsh, simply consistent. Every few moments, the rhythm of the rain changes slightly. It might soften into a light drizzle or grow a little heavier, each variation bringing new sounds to notice. Sometimes the drops sound closer, as if moving toward the listener. Other times, they fade, seeming to drift farther away into the distance. The mind follows these changes gently, not to think about them, but simply to notice them. A natural form of quiet focus that carries the thoughts away from everything else. In the soft light of the room, the window reflects a faint image of the space inside, a blurred outline of shadows and gentle color. Behind it, the world is a curtain of silver-gray lines falling steadily through the dark. Every surface outside glows faintly where the light touches it. The wet street, the damp grass, the smooth bark of trees. All of it feels united by the steady fall of rain, each droplet connecting everything in stillness. As the sound continues, time begins to lose its edges. Minutes blend softly into one another. The rain doesn't mark the passing of time. It replaces it, becoming its own quiet presence that asks for nothing and fills everything. The air feels heavier now in the calmest way, pressing gently against the body as if wrapping it in invisible softness. The chest rises and falls slowly, each breath drawn in rhythm with the falling rain. Outside, a faint breeze stirs the water once more, moving it across the window in new directions. The drops trace uncertain paths now, sliding diagonally or merging into broader streams. The variation adds quiet depth to the scene, a reminder that even in peace there is life and movement. The sound fills the night again, unbroken, smooth, familiar. Inside the room, stillness deepens. The bed feels softer, the air quieter, the sound of rain now part of the background of thought. The mind has no need to form words or memories. Everything that needs to be felt is already here. The sound, the calm, the warmth. It all feels like one. No separation between body, space, and sound. The sense of being awake begins to drift into something lighter, softer, a space where thought slows and disappears. The rain outside continues, unchanged, patient, and even. It doesn't ask for attention anymore. It simply exists, steady and sure. Its rhythm becomes the heartbeat of the night, slow and peaceful, guiding everything toward rest. The window glows faintly with reflected light. The air moves gently, and the world outside remains wrapped in silver calm. The sound carries through the air, quiet but clear, until even it begins to blur into silence. Breathing becomes slower, the warmth of the bed deepens, and the night folds around everything like a soft, endless blanket of calm. The rain falls on, steady and distant, while the mind drifts peacefully towards sleep. Chapter 3. Notice your shoulders release as breath becomes slow. Peace begins with awareness, and awareness begins with the smallest moment of stillness. The world outside may continue its quiet rhythm, the faint hum of distant rain, the whisper of night air, but within, there is only calm waiting to be found. The body rests where it is, held by the bed beneath, surrounded by still air, safe and unmoving. There's a small space between one breath and the next where everything seems to pause. In that pause, something inside begins to let go. The shoulders, once held tight without notice, start to ease. It happens quietly, without force, without thought. The muscles that carried the day's weight begin to soften. A warmth spreads gently from the base of the neck, down across the arms, as though the body itself is finally willing to rest. The tension that once lived there, from movement, from thinking, from being alert for too long, loosens with each passing second. There is no hurry. The body takes its time, releasing layer by layer until the shoulders settle naturally into the softness below them. The breath follows. At first, it's shallow, still shaped by the noise of the day. But then it changes. It deepens slightly, smooth and unhurried, pulling in quiet air that feels cool and pure. Each inhale brings a new wave of calm, and each exhale carries away what is no longer needed. The rhythm finds itself, steady, gentle, complete. The sound of breathing blends with the soft atmosphere of the room, creating a single harmony between body and space. The chest rises with the breath, then falls. The movement is slow, steady, almost invisible. The ribs expand with each inhale, creating a sense of openness, and close again as the body exhales, letting everything sink lower. The stomach softens, the muscles no longer held in place by habit. Breathing becomes effortless, happening on its own, carrying the mind deeper into rest. The arms rest loosely by the sides, their weight supported completely. The hands are open, the fingers relaxed and still. A faint warmth spreads from the palms outward, gentle and constant. The neck, once stiff from holding the head upright through the day, now feels supported and free. The muscles near the collarbones loosen as the breath deepens again. The difference between holding and releasing becomes clear, and the body naturally chooses ease. Each slow breath brings more release. The air moves quietly through the nose, cool on the way in, warmer as it leaves. There's no need to guide it. It already knows its path. The sound is faint, barely there, but steady. With every exhale, the sense of heaviness grows. Not a burdened weight, but a calm settling. a grounding presence. The bed feels more familiar now, more connected to the body's shape. The pillow supports the head in perfect balance. The blanket holds the air's warmth close, matching the body's rhythm of calm. The shoulders continue to relax, their shape changing almost imperceptibly. They drop just a little lower, finding their natural place. The muscles that cross the back ease into stillness. The space between the shoulder blades, often tense from effort or posture, begins to release too. It feels like a slow spreading of comfort from the center outward, a quiet unfolding. The body knows what to do when given permission to rest. The air in the room carries a soft scent, maybe of clean linen or faint rain. It blends with the calmness of the moment. The sounds that were once separate, the soft hum of the air, the quiet patter outside, the rhythm of breath, all merge into one continuous layer of tranquility. Nothing stands out. Everything feels part of the same quiet world. The body listens, though no effort is needed. It simply responds to peace. Somewhere deep in the muscles, small adjustments happen naturally. The spine settles. The back molds gently to the surface below. The legs, once slightly tense, start to release too, their weight sinking downward. The feet rest in stillness, toes uncurled, ankles soft. It's as though the entire body, piece by piece, is remembering how to let go of control. Every breath deepens the sense of surrender. The rhythm continues. Inhale. The chest rises softly, air cool and clean. Exhale. The body loosens. The shoulders soften even more. The pattern repeats, without need for attention. With each breath, the space between thought grows larger. The noise in the mind fades quietly into the background. What remains is a simple awareness of being, breathing, existing, resting. The body begins to feel lighter and heavier at the same time. Lighter in the sense of effort fading away, heavier in the sense of sinking deeper into comfort. The skin feels warm, yet the air above it is cool and fresh. There's balance in every sensation, nothing sharp, nothing urgent. The shoulders, now fully released, feel distant from any trace of strain. They belong to a body that has decided to rest fully. Some breaths come deeper, some quieter. Each is different, but each brings the same calm result. The pattern of air moving through the lungs becomes almost imperceptible, as though the body is breathing with the world itself. The sound of rain outside still lingers faintly, its rhythm blending with the breath. Two natural forces moving in quiet harmony. There's a comfort in their sameness, a sense that everything beyond this moment is already taken care of. In the stillness, a quiet awareness lingers between breaths. It's not thought or focus, just presence. The body is resting, but the mind remains lightly aware of this peace, observing the ease that fills every muscle, every joint. The neck stays soft, the shoulders remain down and free. The body knows now that tension is unnecessary. It chooses softness again and again with each exhale. The space around feels wide, open and calm. The air no longer presses. It floats gently. The heart beats slowly, rhythm steady and relaxed, not asking for attention. It moves in sync with breath, with rain, with stillness. Every beat, every breath is a reminder that rest is natural, that stillness is safe. Somewhere, far beyond the window, night continues without effort. The sky holds its clouds, the rain moves through the air, and time passes quietly. Inside, nothing needs to change. The body is exactly where it needs to be. The shoulders remain light, their weight supported by the surface beneath. The neck feels long and open, no resistance anywhere. The breath continues, flowing evenly. If the eyes were to open now, they would see the same dim light as before, the same gentle shadows. But there's no need. The world beyond the eyelids feels complete. Sound, warmth, softness, and air all working together. Breathing feels natural, almost automatic, and every breath makes the stillness deeper. The body no longer holds any trace of effort. Time loses shape here. There's no before or after, only the continuous rhythm of breathing and resting. Each moment feels smooth, blending into the next without edges. The body and mind seem to understand each other completely, both choosing quiet, both choosing stillness. The warmth around the shoulders remains steady, a sign that everything has settled. The breath now feels almost invisible, as if it belongs to something beyond the body, a quiet energy that moves without need for control. The space between inhale and exhale widens slightly, holding peace within it. The entire room feels tuned to this single, simple rhythm. The shoulders are soft, the body at ease, the breath slow and even. Nothing moves quickly, nothing disturbs the calm. The air holds steady, the night continues its quiet work outside. And within this stillness, rest grows stronger. The body no longer remembers tension, it remembers only release. Breathing continues, smooth and slow, guiding everything closer toward the calm that leads to sleep. Chapter 4. Describe the cool air moving gently across your skin. There is a quiet beauty in noticing the smallest things. And sometimes, peace begins with something as simple as the air itself. The room feels still, yet alive with a softness that touches everything. A calm presence lingers there, weightless, invisible, endlessly patient. The cool air moves gently through the space, light as a whisper, brushing across skin that has finally begun to rest. It doesn't rush or shift sharply. It glides, calm and even, like water flowing without sound. The body, no longer tense or guarded, becomes aware of this subtle motion, each small movement of air creating a new point of awareness that soothes the senses without asking for attention. The air carries a faint freshness, clean and light, neither cold nor warm, just balance. It moves slowly over the face, a tender sensation that invites the body to remain still. The skin tingles faintly, not from chill, but from the delicate awareness of temperature. Each tiny shift in the air feels like a reminder that the world outside is calm, that night has settled in its gentle rhythm. The body doesn't react to it, it simply receives it, letting the soft motion of air cool the warmth left from the day. The touch of the air changes slightly as it drifts over different parts of the skin. Across the forehead, it feels smooth and faint, barely there, like a single quiet thought passing by. Over the cheeks, it's cooler where the skin is most exposed, and as it moves toward the neck, it grows softer again. The chest rises and falls beneath the flow, and the air follows its rhythm naturally. It seems to understand the body's pace, matching each breath, never opposing it, never demanding attention. The room itself seems to breathe along with the air. Somewhere near the window, a faint movement stirs. Maybe the curtain shifting, maybe the faint sound of night outside. The cool air seems to come from there, bringing with it a trace of the world beyond. Perhaps the freshness of rain lingering, perhaps the scent of night leaves still wet. Each small draft that finds its way inside feels like an extension of the quiet world beyond the glass. It reminds the senses that even in stillness, life continues in slow, peaceful motion. The air reaches the arms next, sliding over skin that has grown warm beneath the blanket. It creates a gentle contrast, the warmth below and the cool touch above, a harmony that feels effortless and right. The difference in temperature brings awareness to how the body rests, how every part of it belongs exactly where it is. The air moves without pattern, sometimes brushing lightly, sometimes fading entirely, as if deciding where it wishes to go. It's never constant, never strong, only gentle enough to be felt without disturbing peace. There's a rhythm in the way it flows. It might touch the wrist, then drift upward toward the neck, then fade again into stillness. The skin recognizes it instantly, each small change registering as calm sensation. The movement of air feels like an invisible thread weaving through space, connecting everything, the bed, the body, the room, into one quiet whole. The sound of that motion is barely there, perhaps only imagined, yet it feels present, as if the air itself carries a low hum that the mind can sense even without hearing. The coolness brings alertness without thought, not the alertness of the day, sharp or busy, but the kind that belongs to stillness, where awareness sharpens softly. It invites the senses to rest, to feel instead of think. The air moves again, slower this time, settling against the sides of the face. It lingers just long enough to create balance, as if it understands exactly how much is needed to comfort the skin. Nothing more, nothing less. Sometimes the air shifts direction slightly, perhaps stirred by the breath itself, or by the faintest movement from the body. The change is small but noticeable, a new coolness brushing the lips or the side of the ear. It reminds the body that it is surrounded by softness, supported on all sides by a world that is calm and consistent. Every small variation in the air's movement feels new yet familiar, like a steady rhythm that never repeats in quite the same way. The skin responds quietly. Where the air touches, warmth fades, replaced by a smooth, cooling sensation that spreads outward. It doesn't startle, it soothes. The arms, the neck, the cheeks, all accept this quiet exchange of temperature, as though the body is balancing itself in response. There's something deeply natural about this small cycle of change, this flow of cool air that passes, fades, and returns. It has no beginning or end, just the same gentle motion over and over, each time slightly different, each time equally calm. The breath moves through this space as well, mixing with the air that moves over the skin. Inhaling brings a faint chill, a trace of night air that refreshes without cooling too deeply. Exhaling releases warmth back into the room, and the air seems to shift in response, like two quiet forces meeting in peace. The body adjusts with each breath, finding new balance between warmth and coolness, between motion and stillness. The faintest sound might accompany it, the barely audible rustle of fabric, the slight whisper of a draft finding its way through the room. These sounds add texture to the silence. They do not interrupt, they belong. Every small movement of air seems to carry with it a memory of the outside world, the open sky, the still trees, the faint scent of clean earth. Even though the body rests indoors, the air connects it gently to something wider and endless beyond these walls. The cool air has a way of resetting everything it touches. Each time it drifts across the skin, it clears the residue of heat, thought, or strain. It refreshes without effort. It's as though the air itself carries calm within it, transferring it through touch. The forehead feels lighter, the neck longer, the chest more open. The air seems to whisper the body back into ease without words, using only presence. Moments stretch out between these sensations. Time feels wide and slow. The cool air continues to move, always soft, always changing slightly, as though responding to something beyond human notice. Its motion is neither fast nor still. It flows exactly as much as it needs to. The body listens through the skin, every inch aware of the temperature and pressure of the space around it. Even beneath the blanket, where warmth gathers, the cool air above brings balance. The skin under the fabric feels secure, steady, unmoving. The air outside the blanket adds dimension, creating the perfect contrast that keeps comfort constant. It's this harmony, warmth below, coolness above, that allows the body to stay deeply relaxed without drifting into discomfort. The room holds this balance gently. The air has found its rhythm now, moving in slow, predictable patterns. It slides past the shoulders, across the collarbones, over the cheeks, then rests for a moment before starting again. Every cycle of this movement calms the senses more deeply. The sound of breathing merges with the soft motion of air. The world seems smaller, quieter, more complete. There is no need for thought here, no effort to understand. The air continues to move because it must, because it is natural. The body continues to rest because it can, because it is safe. The air's touch becomes lighter over time, less noticeable, until it feels as though it has merged completely with the warmth of the skin. The coolness is no longer separate. It becomes part of the body's comfort, part of the stillness of the night. The cool air continues its calm journey, passing once more across the face, over the chest, brushing lightly at the edges of the blanket before fading again into invisible stillness. The room holds perfect peace now. Every sound, every motion, every breath moves in quiet harmony. The skin feels alive but relaxed, aware of the air yet untouched by it. The coolness remains constant and gentle, carrying the promise of rest deeper into the body. The air moves again, softly, patiently, guiding everything toward complete stillness until the mind and body become one with the calm that fills the night. Chapter 5. Guide a lone astronomer walking quietly beneath low clouds. There is something deeply peaceful about being alone beneath the vast sky, walking through quiet air that feels both alive and still. The world around holds its breath, wrapped in a soft grey calm. The ground is damp from earlier rain, carrying the faint scent of wet earth and stone. A single figure moves slowly through this quiet space. An astronomer, unhurried and thoughtful, walking beneath low clouds that hang close enough to feel near. His steps are measured and light, the sound barely audible against the soft earth. Nothing in his movement disturbs the balance of the night. Everything about him blends with it. The path stretches ahead, dark but clear enough to follow. Puddles glisten faintly under the muted sky, reflecting what little light seeps through the clouds. Each step creates a small ripple in the shallow water, breaking the stillness for a moment before it returns to calm. The air carries a mild chill, not sharp, but refreshing in the quiet space between breaths. The astronomer pulls his coat a little closer, feeling the coolness settle gently across his face. The weight of the night air feels grounding, familiar, like a silent companion that has followed him for years. Above, the clouds move slowly, thick and low, their undersides faintly illuminated by distant light. The stars are hidden tonight, their presence felt but unseen. The astronomer doesn't mind. He knows they are there, constant, patient, waiting beyond the grey. He walks not to find them, but to feel connected to them, to the vastness that exists even when it cannot be seen. The sky, even when covered, carries a quiet pulse that he has come to understand. It is not something he studies with instruments tonight, but something he feels with quiet awareness. The sound of his footsteps joins the faint hum of the world around him. The soft rustle of leaves holding droplets of water, the distant drip from a tree branch, the low murmur of air moving through grass. Each sound is distinct but gentle, blending into one continuous texture of night. The astronomer listens without trying, the way one listens to silence that is full. Every detail of this world feels familiar yet new, as if the night itself is breathing in sync with his slow steps. The ground beneath him shifts from soft soil to stone, the texture of each step changing slightly. The stones are cool underfoot, smooth from years of rain and time. The clouds above move in long, slow shapes, their edges fading into one another like layers of quiet movement. Occasionally, a faint break appears in the sky, a small, brief opening where the dim glow of a single star shows through before the mist closes again. He pauses each time this happens, lifting his eyes to catch that brief shimmer before it disappears. It's not disappointment he feels when it fades, but appreciation for the momentary gift of light. The air grows thinner as he moves up a small rise, a low hill overlooking the fields below. From here, the world stretches out farther, though still hidden beneath the soft veil of mist. The lights of distant houses flicker faintly through the haze, small, warm glows against the cool grey of the night. He watches them, not as distractions, but as gentle reminders that life continues quietly in every direction. The stillness he feels here is not loneliness, it's connection. The earth beneath him, the air around him, the unseen stars above, all seem to move together in the same slow rhythm. He stops for a moment and closes his eyes. The air brushes his face lightly, carrying the faint moisture of the low clouds. His breathing slows, deepens, matching the stillness around him. In this quiet pause, the boundary between himself and the night blurs slightly. The coolness of the air feels like an extension of his own calm. He opens his eyes again, and the scene has not changed. Still the same soft light, the same drifting clouds. But his sense of it feels deeper now, quieter inside and out. The astronomer continues walking, each step unhurried, each sound absorbed by the damp air. His hands rest in his coat pockets, feeling the slight weight of small items he carries. A notebook, a worn pencil, nothing heavy. He doesn't take them out. Tonight isn't for recording or measuring, it's for being part of the quiet. The path curves gently to the right, leading toward an open field bordered by low bushes. The grass there is tall and moves slightly with the wind, a faint motion barely visible in the half-light. He steps carefully through it, feeling the brush of damp blades against his coat. As he reaches the open space, he looks upward again. The clouds appear lower here, their edges illuminated faintly by the hidden moon. There's a softness to their light, diffused and gentle, spreading evenly across the landscape. The field reflects it faintly, every blade of grass catching a subtle sheen. The world feels muted, wrapped in silver-grey calm. He stands still for a long time, watching how the slow wind moves the cloud layers. how the light shifts from one shade to another. Time feels stretched, not in duration, but in depth. The air grows cooler as the breeze picks up slightly. It moves past him, not strong enough to sway him, but steady enough to remind him of its touch. It carries the faint scent of distant trees and wet soil. The sound it makes is low and constant, the kind of sound that fades into the background until it becomes part of breathing itself. The astronomer feels this motion, not as wind, but as energy, a quiet presence that flows through everything around him. He begins to walk again, slower this time, not toward anything in particular. The field opens wider, the world around fading into softer shapes. The outlines of distant trees blur into the mist, and the line of the horizon disappears entirely. It feels like walking through a dream that asks for no direction. Every step is simply part of the moment, without purpose beyond moving gently forward. The quiet encourages stillness inside him, a kind of thoughtless peace that doesn't need answers. Somewhere above, the clouds begin to thin just slightly. The faintest trace of starlight filters through, not enough to illuminate the land, but enough to give the sky depth again. The astronomer notices the change immediately, a shift in tone rather than sight. He stops and watches. The light doesn't strengthen. It remains delicate, fragile, but steady. It's enough to remind him that even through the heaviest clouds, the stars remain unchanged. He breathes in slowly, the air cool against his throat, then exhales with quiet satisfaction. The night feels alive, not in motion, but in stillness. The kind of aliveness that comes from being part of something vast and unspoken. The clouds close again, but he doesn't move. He stands, hands in pockets, feeling the air, listening to the faint rustle of the field, sensing the quiet presence of the unseen stars. The moment doesn't need anything more. Eventually, he turns back toward the path. His steps are even lighter now, his pace slower. The world feels different, though it hasn't changed at all. Each sound, each breath, each touch of air seems richer, fuller. The field behind him fades into shadow. The hill waits ahead, and the sky above continues its slow, patient shifting. The night will go on like this, clouds drifting, air cooling, the earth quietly breathing. The astronomer knows he could walk for hours, and the feeling would remain the same. The world is quiet, not because nothing happens, but because everything happens gently. The stars remain hidden, but their presence is felt in every breath of air, in every movement of cloud, in every quiet step he takes beneath them. The path leads onward, but the destination is already here, in this still, calm moment beneath the low clouds, where one man and the night move together in peace. Chapter 6. Invite a slow step and a long, thoughtful pause. Sometimes, peace begins in motion, not in rushing forward, but in slowing down enough to feel each moment unfold. The world around is quiet, wrapped in the soft weight of night, and the air feels still, carrying only the faint echo of distant wind. A figure walks slowly across the open ground, his steps careful and calm, as if time itself has decided to match his pace. The earth beneath his feet feels solid, cool, and alive with quiet energy. Every sound, every breath, every heartbeat feels clearer in this pace, where nothing needs to be hurried. Each slow step begins with awareness. The heel touches the ground first, then the rest of the foot follows, pressing lightly into the damp soil. There is no sound, but the faint crunch of earth shifting beneath him. The body adjusts naturally to the rhythm, the breath matching the movement, deep and even. This is not walking to reach somewhere. It is walking to feel connected to the space, to the air, to the quiet pulse of the night. The slow pace brings everything closer, sharper in detail. The rustle of nearby leaves, the hum of insects hidden in the grass, the soft texture of the cool breeze brushing against skin. All these things exist more vividly in slowness. After several steps, he stops. The pause stretches out into the open air, unhurried and peaceful. The body stands still, yet it feels more alive than in motion. The chest rises softly with each breath. The shoulders stay loose. The muscles rest. The pause isn't empty. It's full of quiet awareness. The world seems to breathe along with him. The sound of the night expands to fill the silence. A distant drop of water, a soft sway of grass, the faint whisper of wind passing through unseen branches. Each sound belongs exactly where it is, and the stillness invites it to be noticed. Standing in this moment, the figure feels the gentle pull of stillness around him. The weight of the day has already gone. There is only the calm steadiness of now. No planning, no thinking, no remembering. The pause stretches longer, and with it, the space between thoughts widens too. The breath slows again, softer now, almost imperceptible. Time seems to dissolve into the rhythm of inhaling and exhaling. There's no need to fill the silence. It already feels complete. After the pause, another step begins. It's even slower than before, deliberate but not forced. The movement feels almost like floating, a gentle shifting of balance rather than effort. The body knows what to do, guided by the rhythm of ease. Each small movement has its own pace, lifting the foot, finding the next place to land, feeling the contact with the earth again. The sensation of motion is enough. Nothing else is required. The act of walking becomes a quiet meditation, where every step is a reminder to stay present. The cool night air continues to move around him, steady and calm. It brushes across his face, soft against the skin, and slips beneath his collar with the gentlest touch. There is no chill, only freshness. The moisture from earlier rain still lingers in the air, carrying a faint, clean scent that makes breathing feel lighter. Each inhale feels like renewal, each exhale like release. The body absorbs this rhythm, the mind follows, and soon both move together in perfect alignment with the still night. He pauses again. This time, it's even longer. The world feels perfectly still now, as if everything has slowed to match his heartbeat. In this quiet, small details become clear. The faint shimmer of dew along the grass, the distant glimmer of light through a gap in the clouds, the soft unevenness of the ground beneath his feet. Each detail exists without demanding attention. They simply are. The stillness gives them space to be seen. The pause is not empty. It holds the fullness of the moment. It's a time where movement and stillness meet. The air feels slightly heavier now, filled with the quiet weight of calm. His heartbeat moves in steady rhythm, neither fast nor slow, just natural. He becomes aware of how every small sound, every texture, every breath connects him to the space around. There's no separation between the observer and the night. Both exist in the same quiet balance. When the next step comes, it happens effortlessly. The body moves because it wishes to, not because it must. The slowness brings comfort, a sense of safety in the steady rhythm of movement and pause. Each step leaves a small mark in the earth, barely visible, soon softened by the dampness of the ground. The sound is faint, barely more than a whisper. The pause after each step becomes longer, more deliberate, more peaceful. As he walks, the night around seems to deepen. The air cools slightly, carrying the scent of soil and distant rain. The clouds above drift slowly, their low edges lit faintly by the softest light from the hidden moon. The world feels suspended, as though waiting for nothing. The astronomer, though alone, feels no sense of distance or emptiness. The slow rhythm of walking has made him part of the landscape itself. Every step feels in harmony with something unseen but constant, a quiet presence that fills the space without needing to be named. He pauses once more and lifts his eyes toward the clouds. Their motion is nearly imperceptible, shifting gradually across the wide grey sky. In their stillness, there is movement. In their movement, there is peace. Watching them brings an understanding of time that has nothing to do with hours or minutes. It's the kind of time that exists only in awareness, a continuous, quiet flow that needs no beginning or end. The pause lengthens again. The air feels slightly cooler against his skin now, brushing gently across his face and neck. He breathes it in deeply, feeling the freshness travel through him. The moment feels simple, complete, and vast all at once. There's no sound but the faint sigh of wind through the nearby field. Every part of his body feels connected, his feet resting on the earth, his lungs filling with clean air, his eyes tracing the slow movement of clouds. Everything belongs. After another moment, he moves again. The steps are measured, slow, unbroken. There's a patience in the way he walks, a respect for the quiet, for the balance of movement and stillness. Each step begins with purpose and ends with peace. Each pause that follows holds more stillness than the last. The pattern becomes effortless, like breathing, like the steady beat of a slow song only nature can hear. The night deepens further, but there's no darkness in it, only a soft shade of grey that feels comforting. The air moves steadily. The world hums faintly with the sound of quiet life. The astronomer continues walking, pausing now and then, each time longer, each time more thoughtful, until the pauses themselves begin to feel like the true purpose of the walk. In those moments of complete stillness, the heart and the world seem to move together, perfectly aligned. The air thickens with moisture again as the night continues. The sound of distant dripping echoes softly somewhere unseen. The clouds shift one last time, revealing a faint glimmer of light. A single star, dim but steady. He sees it for a moment, a brief point of brightness in the wide stillness. It's enough to bring a quiet warmth to the night, a reminder of something far and constant. He takes one last slow step, then stops completely. The world around is calm. The air moves gently. The clouds hang low, unbothered, patient. The pause stretches endlessly, and in it, everything feels right. There's no need to move again. Stillness itself has become the destination. In that moment, the air, the earth, and his quiet heart all breathe together, a single, slow rhythm that belongs entirely to peace. Chapter 7. Follow how stars hide and glow through scattered mist. There is something endlessly calming about watching the sky change slowly, about noticing the quiet dance between light and shadow that unfolds when night deepens. Above the still earth, the sky stretches wide, covered in a thin veil of mist that moves like a gentle tide. Through that soft haze, faint points of light begin to appear, distant, steady, and patient. The stars are there, scattered and hidden, glowing through the shifting layers of moisture and cloud. Their light is not sharp or bright. It's softened by distance, by the softness of the mist that blurs every edge. The astronomer stands still beneath this vastness, his gaze steady, unhurried. The air around him feels cooler now, and every breath carries the faint scent of damp earth. The clouds above are not thick enough to block everything. Instead, they drift in uneven shapes, creating openings where the stars emerge for a moment before disappearing again. This rhythm, the appearing and fading of light, feels alive, like the slow breathing of the sky itself. Each change happens naturally, without sound, without rush. He watches as one star flickers faintly, its glow softened by a layer of thin mist. The light seems to pulse gently, dimming and strengthening in slow intervals. Then another appears to its right, just as soft, barely visible through the cloud. Together, they form a quiet constellation, though faint, like memories half remembered. The astronomer's eyes trace their outlines slowly, following the subtle glow through the mist. Careful not to look for patterns, only to notice what is there. The mist continues to move. Sometimes it thickens, turning the stars into faint shadows behind a grey veil. Sometimes it thins, revealing the brilliance that hides within. The change is constant, yet almost invisible. There is no clear beginning to when the stars vanish, and no clear end to when they return. It all happens in one long, fluid motion, the kind of movement that feels more like breathing than weather. He tilts his head slightly upward, feeling the cool air touch his cheeks. The faint light from above glimmers across the surface of his eyes, creating reflections that shift with each tiny movement of cloud. For a few moments, the stars disappear completely. The sky becomes one soft expanse of grey, featureless and still. The world feels smaller in those moments, quieter. Then, without warning, a few points of light return. First one, then several, breaking through the thin haze again. The transition is gentle, as if the stars have decided to return slowly, respectfully, not to startle the night. Every star feels distant, yet close enough to touch in imagination. Their light travels far beyond what can be seen, carrying a sense of calm that no sound could match. Each glow seems to rest patiently on the edge of visibility, never forcing itself, simply existing. The astronomer follows their rhythm, eyes adjusting naturally to each shift in brightness. He does not move much. Even his breathing slows to match the quiet pattern of appearing and fading above him. There's a beauty in the uncertainty of it, not knowing which star will appear next or for how long. The mist is never still. It swirls and shifts in subtle motions, like smoke drifting without direction. Sometimes it scatters the light into faint halos, soft circles that spread across the sky. The edges of these halos shimmer faintly, barely perceptible, and then vanish as the mist moves again. The sky feels alive, not in motion or sound, but in quiet transformation. The faint glow of distant starlight reflects off the mist in gentle tones, a mixture of white and grey, sometimes tinged with the palest blue. The color is hard to describe, not bright enough to be seen clearly, but enough to give the night a depth that darkness alone could not hold. The clouds above stretch long and low, their edges blending seamlessly into one another. The light of the stars softens them, giving shape to what might otherwise go unseen. He takes a slow breath, feeling the coolness settle deep inside his chest. The stars above seem to respond in silence, continuing their quiet pattern. one fading, another emerging, then both glowing together for a moment before disappearing again. This simple rhythm feels endless, like an ancient pulse that belongs to the sky itself. The longer he watches, the less he feels the need to look for meaning. The experience is enough. The act of observing, the act of being still beneath something so vast and quiet. The mist thickens once more, softening everything until the stars almost vanish. But even then, the astronomer knows they are still there, their light still moving across impossible distances to reach this moment. The thought brings no noise, no excitement, only calm recognition of the constant presence of things unseen. When the light returns again, faint and scattered, it feels familiar, like the continuation of a slow story that never truly ends. He shifts his weight slightly, grounding himself more firmly to the earth. The air around him carries the faintest vibration, not of sound, but of life. The hum of crickets hidden in the grass, the low rustle of leaves moved by soft wind. These sounds do not disturb the stillness. They belong to it. Together with the shifting glow above, they form a quiet harmony that fills the night. One brighter star begins to cut through the haze more strongly than the others. Its light holds steady, unmoving, a small anchor in the drifting sky. The mist moves around it, like waves flowing past a stone. The astronomer's eyes rest on it, tracing the soft glow that reaches down through the thin layers of cloud. Around that single bright point, smaller ones start to reappear, forming a faint scattering across the sky. Each one flickers gently, their combined light giving the night a texture, neither dark nor bright, but perfectly balanced between the two. The mist continues its slow motion, sometimes swirling into thin strands, sometimes spreading wide and even. When it thickens again, the stars blur into faint smudges, their light blending with the air. Then, as if exhaling, the sky clears just enough for the stars to shine through once more. Each change feels like a breath. In, out, appearing, fading, again and again. The astronomer's body remains still, but inside him there is quiet movement, the kind that comes from deep calm. Watching the stars through the mist feels like listening to a soft rhythm that has always been there, unnoticed during the noise of the day. His breathing follows that rhythm naturally now, unforced and steady. The mist, the stars, the wind, all move together in harmony, each one changing the other, each one part of the same silent conversation. As time passes, the mist begins to thin. The stars grow brighter now, their light clearer, their positions more defined. What was once hidden becomes visible again, though never completely sharp. The world above still holds its softness, as though protecting its mystery behind a thin veil. The sky, now touched by faint light from a distant horizon, feels both endless and close. The astronomer continues to watch, his eyes steady, his breath calm. The stars no longer feel like distant objects, but part of a single living sky. Their quiet glow, filtered through the fading mist, carries the same peace as the still earth beneath him. Each shimmer feels like the continuation of the same calm pulse that fills the night air. Eventually, the mist lifts just enough to reveal more of the stars. The faint shapes of constellations begin to emerge, though softly, their outlines delicate and shifting. The astronomer follows their faint paths with his eyes, tracing invisible lines between them. Every small light feels like a whisper in the sky, steady and eternal, yet fleeting in its momentary glow. The mist moves again, gentle as breath, and the stars once more blur at the edges. There is no disappointment when they fade. Their presence remains, unseen but known. The night continues its quiet rhythm. Stars hiding and glowing, mist moving and settling, breath slowing and deepening. The sky above becomes a soft painting of change, one that never needs to be finished. The astronomer stands beneath it, still and peaceful, following each subtle shift until the boundaries between earth and sky dissolve into one quiet harmony of calm. Chapter 8. Settle into the sound of rain and distant breathing. There is a moment when sound becomes more than noise, when it turns into a feeling that fills the space between thoughts. The night holds that kind of sound now, gentle, rhythmic, endlessly patient. Rain begins to fall again, soft at first, almost uncertain, then steady enough to create its quiet pattern across the world. Each drop lands with care, touching earth, leaf, and glass in a calm sequence that needs no order. The sound spreads evenly, moving through the room, across the air, settling into every surface until it becomes a part of the atmosphere itself. The rain does not rush. It simply continues, constant but never forceful. It falls in a pattern the mind can follow without effort. Its rhythm is natural, a quiet reminder of balance, a reflection of peace. The drops on the window slide down in slow lines, merging and separating like thoughts drifting through a calm mind. The sound they make against the glass is faint but distinct, a soft tapping that blends with the hum of night air. There's a simplicity to it, an ease that makes everything else seem still. As the sound continues, something deeper begins to emerge beneath it, the quiet pulse of distant breathing. It's not loud or defined. It's subtle, like the soft exhale of someone sleeping nearby. The air moves gently with it, carrying a rhythm that matches the rain. The two sounds weave together naturally, the steady pattern of water and the slow cycle of breath, creating a harmony that feels alive but completely at rest. The space feels warmer for it, filled not with silence, but with calm sound. The rain grows a little stronger, its voice more confident now. The roof above carries the faint echo of drops landing, a steady hum that joins the softer tapping of those against the window. Together, they create layers of sound, some near, some distant, each one distinct but blending perfectly into the next. There's no sharpness in their tone, no abruptness. Even when a heavier drop falls, it fades gently into the rest. The rhythm is soothing because it never demands attention. It invites awareness without effort. The breathing sound continues quietly, blending so completely with the rain that it becomes hard to tell where one ends and the other begins. It's steady and natural, as if the night itself is alive, inhaling and exhaling in slow, even waves. The air inside feels slightly cooler, carrying that quiet motion, as if every small shift in sound moves through it, like ripples on still water. The body responds without thought, the heartbeat slowing to match the same calm rhythm. The scent of rain lingers in the air, soft and clean, carrying the freshness of wet soil and damp leaves. Each breath brings that cool scent inward, grounding the senses. The sound of rainfall becomes more immersive, surrounding the space from every direction, not loud, but complete. The world outside seems to have quieted entirely to listen. Every surface responds to the falling water differently. Stone hums softly, leaves whisper, windows ring faintly. All of it forms one calm language of sound. As the rhythm continues, time begins to lose its shape. There's no beginning or end to the rain. It's continuous, like a background pulse of life. The breathing sound feels even slower now, each inhale long and unbroken, each exhale releasing into the air with quiet warmth. The combination of both creates a kind of stillness that exists within movement, a space where everything flows but nothing changes. It's a balance that feels endless, natural, and safe. The mind, once active, begins to quiet. There's no need to think about the rain or listen for meaning in it. The sound carries understanding of its own. It tells of calmness, of cycles that continue without effort, of life that moves gently forward without noise or demand. The rain outside feels like part of the same rhythm as the body's breath, both belonging to the same peaceful system. The longer it continues, the more it feels like the natural state of the world. Outside, the rain deepens again for a few moments, heavier drops landing with slightly fuller sounds. They strike leaves and ground with slow, deliberate rhythm, creating soft accents in the steady pattern. Then, gradually, the intensity fades back to its quieter pace. The variation adds depth to the soundscape without ever breaking its calm. It's the kind of change that draws attention, not because it disrupts, but because it feels alive, dynamic, yet peaceful. The breathing remains constant through it all, patient and unchanging. The sound of air moving in and out is barely audible, but always there, steady as a background melody. It gives the rain a partner, one sound created by the earth, one by life itself. Together, they make a complete picture of peace, the rain representing the outer world, the breath representing the inner. When both are aligned, everything feels balanced, as if the body and nature have agreed to rest at the same pace. A soft wind moves briefly through the space, stirring the sound. The rain changes direction slightly, brushing against the sides of the building, shifting its rhythm. It's a quiet reminder that calmness doesn't mean stillness. It means flow, a gentle continuity of motion. The sound deepens, filling the air with low resonance, then lightens again as the breeze fades. Through it all, the distant breathing continues, like a steady heartbeat beneath a lullaby. If the eyes were open, they might catch the faint reflection of the window in the dim light, streaks of water moving slowly downward, forming patterns that never repeat. Each drop follows its own path, merging into others, separating, continuing until it disappears at the frame. The sight of it would match the sound perfectly, quiet, natural, endlessly patient. But whether seen or only heard, the effect is the same. Peace that moves. The sound of rain has a way of filling every silence without overwhelming it. It leaves space for thought to fade and for awareness to soften. In the background, the steady rhythm of breathing continues to anchor it, keeping the atmosphere grounded and alive. Every inhale seems to draw in calm. Every exhale releases the last trace of tension. The sound of rain takes what remains of the day and smooths it out, layer by layer, until there is nothing left but quiet ease. Sometimes, in the midst of that sound, the world feels paused. There's a moment when even the mind stops naming what it hears. The rain becomes not rain, but simply sound. The breathing becomes not breath, but movement. The distinction fades, and only rhythm remains. It's the kind of stillness that doesn't come from silence, but from perfect harmony. Everything in motion, yet nothing disturbed. The space between each breath feels wider now, softer. The sound of rainfall continues, steady and full, wrapping around everything like invisible warmth. The air feels cooler, smoother, more consistent. Every drop that lands outside, every soft exhale inside, adds to the same peaceful pattern. The world feels synchronized, not in a forced way, but naturally, as though this was always how it was meant to sound. The body begins to mirror this calm completely. The chest rises and falls with slow rhythm. The muscles rest without thought. Even the heartbeat seems quieter, matching the pace of the rain. The sound of distant breathing becomes almost imperceptible, as though it has merged entirely with the rainfall. Both sounds dissolve into one, a single, endless wave of quiet motion. Minutes blend into one another, indistinguishable, smooth. The rain does not stop. It only softens until it becomes more felt than heard. The air carries its moisture through the room, a faint coolness that touches the skin gently. Breathing continues, natural and unforced, like the ocean's slow tide. Nothing breaks the flow. Nothing interrupts. As the night deepens, the sound of rain begins to fade into the distance. It's still there, but softer now, like a memory of itself. The breathing remains steady, the body completely relaxed, the mind adrift in the rhythm that remains. The space feels full but weightless, surrounded by the quietest kind of sound that holds peace instead of movement. In this stillness, everything feels connected. The rain falling outside, the air resting inside, the slow and steady breath that fills the body. Each part supports the other, creating a seamless calm that cannot be forced, only felt. The sound continues, softer and softer, until it blends with the silence itself. The world exhales once more, and the night settles fully, wrapped in the slow harmony of rain and breath. Chapter 9. Breathe out tension and feel limbs sink deeper. Calm begins when the body remembers that it no longer has to hold on. The air feels still and cool, carrying a sense of quiet that makes everything around seem slower. The day has passed, the noise has faded, and all that's left is the gentle rhythm of breathing. The body lies still, supported fully by the bed beneath. There's no need to move, no need to think, only to feel the way the body releases itself into rest. The breath moves naturally, steady and even. Each inhale fills the lungs softly, spreading a quiet warmth through the chest. Each exhale flows out smoothly, carrying with it the last bits of strain that the body no longer needs. With every slow release of air, tension leaves, from the neck, from the back, from the small muscles that once worked without notice. The body begins to loosen from the inside out, piece by piece, without any effort or intention. The shoulders drop a little lower, the jaw unclenches, the mouth resting gently without pressure. The eyes, though closed, feel lighter, as if the skin around them has softened. Breathing deepens slightly, and the air feels cooler as it enters, warmer as it leaves. With every breath out, the body sinks further, the muscles letting go of their weight and giving it to the mattress beneath. The surface supports everything, the legs, the spine, the head, with quiet steadiness. Nothing needs to resist anymore. The arms lie easily at the sides. The hands feel warm and still, fingers loose, palms open. The legs stretch softly into their place, the knees relaxed, the feet turned outward just enough to let the ankles rest. Every limb begins to feel heavier now, but not in a tiring way, in a calm, grounding way, as though the earth itself is holding them. The breath continues, unhurried, and each time the air leaves the lungs, the body follows it downward, deeper into comfort. The air in the room stays quiet. The sound of the night feels distant and faint. Only the soft hum of stillness filling the space. The temperature feels balanced, not too warm, not too cool, just enough to bring ease to the skin. The mind begins to sense that the body is no longer something to control. It's something to rest within. Every inhale expands space inside. Every exhale releases what once filled it. The rhythm of breathing and the weight of the body now move as one. A small pulse of warmth begins at the chest, then spreads outward, following the path of the breath. It moves through the shoulders, down the arms, into the hands. With each exhale, that warmth becomes softer, spreading wider, melting through places where tightness used to stay. The body doesn't need instruction. It knows how to release itself. It listens to breath as if it's following a quiet song that leads it deeper into rest. The lower back begins to sink next, pressing gently into the surface beneath. The muscles there ease their hold, the spine aligning without strain. The hips settle naturally, allowing the legs to rest fully. The weight shifts downward, spreading evenly, so that nothing feels tense or lifted anymore. The thighs and calves soften, their strength now turned into stillness. Each breath out brings another layer of release, another quiet wave of heaviness that feels safe and soothing. The feet grow warm and still. Toes relax one by one, releasing the last bit of subtle tension they held. The arches soften, the heels sink. The ankles rest in their natural place. The ground beneath them feels stable, firm, and reassuring. The sensation of heaviness deepens now, not like something pressing down, but like the body finally trusting the surface to hold it completely. Every exhale adds to that trust, to that letting go. Breathing becomes slower now, deeper and fuller. The sound of air moving in and out is soft but steady, almost hidden beneath the quiet. The body follows its rhythm effortlessly. Inhale, light expansion. Exhale, complete release. With every cycle, the feeling of separation between breath and body fades. They become one motion, a single rhythm that carries the mind further away from effort and closer to stillness. The muscles along the neck and shoulders are fully loose now. The head feels supported, cradled softly by the pillow. The face is smooth, the corners of the lips slightly lifted by calm. The air moves gently through the nose, its coolness a reminder of life's quiet steadiness. There's no need to change or direct it. It flows exactly as it should. The more it flows, the deeper the stillness becomes. Each limb, once heavy, now feels lighter in awareness. The heaviness remains physically, grounding the body, but the feeling itself is one of ease. The body belongs fully to this moment of rest. Every small movement that might come, the chest rising, the air moving, feels slow and smooth, natural and balanced. The body has found its rhythm, one that asks for nothing more. A faint warmth spreads again, this time from the stomach outward, reaching the hips and legs. It's not heat, but comfort, the warmth that comes from release. The body feels whole now, complete in its stillness. Every joint, every muscle, every small fiber seems to align in peace. The breath keeps moving through it all, steady, calm, unbroken. The body no longer holds any weight of the day. It has given everything to the bed beneath, to the air around, to the quiet night. The space between breaths grows longer, softer. Each exhale feels like a wave passing through, leaving calm in its path. Thoughts, once quick, now move slowly, gently dissolving into the rhythm of breathing. Nothing feels separate. Not the air, not the sound, not the body. Everything blends into one quiet state of rest. The sense of time fades. Moments stretch smoothly, each one blending into the next. The air feels still and light against the skin, carrying the faintest touch of coolness that soothes rather than chills. The warmth beneath remains steady, balancing it perfectly. The balance itself becomes a form of calm. Cool air above, soft warmth below. Weight resting evenly in between. Every breath that leaves the body carries away what remains of tension. The shoulders stay low, the hands stay open, the legs stay still. Even the muscles within, the small, unseen ones, follow the same pattern of ease. It's as if the body is unlearning the need to hold itself, remembering that rest can happen without effort. The stillness deepens. Breathing slows further, almost silent now. The space feels wider, the mind quieter, the body completely at ease. Each limb feels heavy yet light, grounded yet free of effort. The heart beats gently, steady, but unhurried. The body has given up resistance entirely. It no longer tries to stay awake, to think, to prepare. It simply exists, resting in the rhythm that continues without thought. The room remains quiet, except for the soft sound of breath. The air feels motionless now, though it still moves in slow cycles through the lungs. The stillness spreads, filling the chest, then the arms, then the entire body. It's not sleep yet, but something close. A deep, in-between state where awareness drifts lightly, free of control. The body feels almost weightless now, though it hasn't moved. It's as if gravity itself has softened, holding everything with tenderness instead of pull. The limbs, though heavy, no longer feel separate. They have become part of the surface beneath, blending into its quiet support. Breathing continues, slow, deep, peaceful. Every breath out releases what's left of movement, what's left of thought. The entire body has surrendered to stillness. The chest rises slightly, falls slightly, then rests. The limbs remain motionless, perfectly at ease. There is no strain, no effort, only calm. The air feels softer now, as though it too has quieted in response. The world outside stays silent, offering no interruption. Everything that exists in this space, the air, the bed, the breath, the body, feels unified in rest. Each breath out takes the last traces of the day and carries them away, leaving nothing but ease. Now there is only peace. The body rests deeply, the limbs unmoving, the breath steady and faint. The feeling of sinking has reached its end, not falling, but merging, where the body, air, and stillness become one. The mind hovers on the edge of sleep, gentle and unburdened, ready to drift wherever calmness leads next. Chapter 10. Rest completely as the room fades into calm darkness. There comes a moment when the body understands that it no longer needs to stay awake. The air grows softer, the world quieter, and everything inside the room begins to dissolve into gentle stillness. The edges of things blur, the walls, the light, even the faint shapes of familiar objects. What remains is a soft darkness that feels calm, protective, and endlessly patient. The night carries no sound, but the quiet rhythm of slow breathing, and even that seems to fade slightly, as if the air itself is holding its breath. The body has done enough, and now it is time to rest completely. The darkness that fills the room is not empty. It has weight, texture, and warmth. It feels like a quiet blanket drawn across every corner of the space, wrapping it in peace. The light that once lingered has has dimmed into a faint glow, barely enough to trace the outline of the bed. That faint light, too, will fade soon, but for now, it rests in the air, still and gentle. Each breath feels slower than the one before, and the body moves closer to stillness with every exhale. The chest rises, falls, and then holds for a moment in perfect quiet. The warmth beneath the blanket is steady, unchanging. The body feels perfectly balanced between the softness of the bed and the coolness of the air. The muscles have long since released their tension, and now even the awareness of their existence fades. The legs, the arms, the neck, all of them feel like part of the same peaceful whole. The mind, too, begins to release its hold. Thoughts that once circled fade without resistance. They don't stop suddenly. They simply drift away like small ripples disappearing into still water. The air inside the room feels different now, heavier but calm. It carries the scent of night, clean, cool, untouched. The rain outside, if it still falls, has softened into something barely audible, a low hush that lingers like a dream. That faint sound feels distant now, as though it exists far away, in another world. The focus shifts inward, toward the still rhythm of breath and the gentle pulse of life that continues quietly beneath it. Every inhale feels lighter, every exhale longer, each one a step closer to complete rest. The eyes remain closed, but even behind them, the faint impressions of light begin to fade. What was once dim grey turns to deeper shades of dark, not frightening, not empty, just full of peace. The darkness feels alive in a calm way, moving softly around the body, as if it understands its purpose: to soothe, to quiet, to hold. There's no need to reach for sleep. It arrives naturally, like mist forming over still water. The body doesn't notice the moment it begins to drift. It simply allows itself to be carried. The breath grows quieter still, almost hidden. It continues, slow and natural, a gentle movement that barely disturbs the air. The heartbeat slows to match it, steady and low, its rhythm blending with the silence of the room. Every part of the body rests in harmony. No tension, no awareness of weight, just pure stillness. It's as if the body has become part of the bed, part of the air, part of the calm itself. Nothing needs to be done. Nothing needs to change. This is the shape of peace. The darkness deepens. It feels endless now, but soft, like velvet pressed against the skin. It holds everything in perfect balance. No light, no noise, no thought. The room seems larger within it, stretching quietly into unseen corners. The body, in its stillness, feels safe in that space, as though the darkness is gently cradling it. Breathing continues, light and slow, each breath less distinct than the last. The sound fades into silence, but the rhythm remains, the only movement left. The air cools slightly, though the warmth of the blanket remains constant. That difference between cool air and soft heat feels comforting, like two hands working together to balance the body's calm. The air moves so gently it barely stirs. It passes across the face in quiet intervals, just enough to remind the body that it's still there, still safe, still breathing. The awareness of this becomes faint, almost like a whisper that fades before it's fully heard. The world outside the room feels far away. Whatever movement or sound exists beyond these walls no longer reaches this space. Time, too, seems to stop. The moments stretch endlessly, merging into one continuous presence that feels neither long nor short. There's no pressure to fall asleep, no expectation. Rest simply arrives, taking over naturally, softly. The body doesn't drift away quickly. It eases into it, layer by layer, sinking deeper into comfort until even the sense of sinking disappears. The mind feels weightless. There are no pictures, no words, only the soft rhythm of nothingness. Calm, pure, simple. The edges of thought blur and then fade. It's not forgetting, it's returning to silence, to stillness, to balance. Everything that was once sharp has softened. Every part of the day that lingered has dissolved. What's left is pure calmness, untouched and unbroken. The darkness fills the room completely now, but it feels peaceful, not absolute. It's a living calm, soft and protective, moving quietly through the air. The sound of breathing fades into it until both become the same. Silence and breath, stillness and movement, all blending together. The boundary between the body and the world begins to vanish. There's no longer here and there, no longer inside or outside. Everything exists together in one smooth layer of rest. A faint rhythm remains, though it's no longer something that can be followed. It's the natural hum of life continuing, gentle and quiet. The body doesn't have to think about it. It happens without effort, like a song that plays far in the distance. That rhythm is the only thing left now, and even it begins to fade, sinking softly into the background. The darkness grows deeper still, but it's not heavy. It feels like floating in space that has no edges. There's nothing to resist, nothing to control. The mind drifts freely, supported by invisible calm. Every part of the body follows, each limb fully at ease. Every breath now a quiet echo of peace. The air feels still, yet somehow full, carrying the faint warmth of life. The heart beats slowly, gently, each pulse spaced wide apart. The air that moves in and out is almost weightless, quiet enough to feel like stillness itself. The silence becomes complete, but it's not empty. It's filled with comfort. It holds the body, the air, and the darkness together as one. Time no longer exists here. The awareness of being awake fades entirely, replaced by pure presence, soft, deep, unmeasured. The mind doesn't notice the moment when wakefulness turns into rest. It simply continues breathing, even as consciousness loosens its hold. The body remains peaceful, safe, unmoving. The darkness doesn't close in. It welcomes, it protects. It becomes the blanket that wraps the room, the gentle quiet that allows sleep to arrive naturally, fully, without effort. The last sound is the faint rhythm of breath, slow, soft, and fading. The warmth of the bed holds the body completely. The darkness surrounds everything in gentle calm. The world outside remains far away, untouched, while within this space, stillness reigns. Nothing stirs, nothing interrupts. Now, the room has disappeared. There's no longer any distinction between space and body, between sound and silence. The darkness has taken on its full shape, soft, infinite, calm. The breath moves once more, then another, each slower, each lighter, until even that fades into rest. The air holds still, the world stops moving, and peace becomes complete. In this perfect quiet, rest has fully arrived. The room has dissolved into darkness, and the body sleeps in calm, unbroken serenity.